full tiger and it's actual like full on set instincts and behaves like a tiger, then they don't want to do it anymore. And the thing with Big Cat is we make you sign a waiver basically renouncing your right to own exotic animals for us to take care of this cat and take it on. And it's very important for us to do that because the problem is everyone then thinks, oh, I just get another baby and do it again. And it's this vicious cycle.
So really when these beautiful big cats end up at Big Cat Rescue, they're going to stay there for life.
They are. And they are only taken on with enough resources to be able to care for them for life. So even with times of crisis, it's very important to say that these cats are being cared for. And obviously it's concerning that they have to like spend their savings in order to care for them right now. But everyone who comes in is being cared for their entire life. And they're not being put back in a cage. It's very important to know that they get as large. I wish I knew the exact specs of the enclosures, but the enclosures are much bigger than you would imagine.
I've seen that as well.
They all get pools. They all have their own like sweet little pools to swim in because tigers love pools. Even the smaller cats there get big enclosures, and then there's also a space that they didn't show at all, which is the best, which is the vacation space, which is almost the size of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 enclosures put together, and they rotate who gets to go in there. And the best part is all of the transfer, everything with the cats, they try to put them to sleep as like little as possible in the sense of tranquilizing them or anything like that. Everything is done that way. And an important other thing to know about them is they do have one part of the sanctuary that re-releases bobcats, which no one addressed at all. And I find that sad, it's, they're trying their best to do what they can for these animals, but this is not an easy fight.
No, of course not. And also, you're working with animals that are, that can be dangerous, it's like, it's not, and it's not, that's also what I always say, like, of course, I've worked with Sea Shepherd and done work with animals that are dangerous. And you always have to be aware of, like, this is hard and tricky because, you are putting yourself in danger, but and potentially putting them in danger. You got to be really mindful and careful. And it seems like, because I've done through you, I think I've given my money sometimes, donated and got some newsletters and stuff. And I'm definitely a proud supporter of Big Cat Rescue because of you, but also I think I would be anyway. I think they're just wonderful, and so I think it's important that today we're really giving them a shout out and a good rep. And if you want to give some money to a good cause, like, they are definitely a good cause to give your money to. So let's talk about, because you referred to it a few times now. Let's talk about this crazy idiot. In my opinion, like, he's just complete. But I think when you see Netflix and the documentary, there is no other way really of, you cannot even really look at him in a way that he isn't just totally crazy. But his name is Joseph, but his stage name Joe Exotic. But he is actually right now in prison for 17 accounts of animal cruelty. Like, not 1, not 2, but 17 accounts of animal cruelty. And when you look back at his history, I mean, he was really young when he even opened his first pet store. So I think this is just his way of being and living. Like, I don't think he knows any better. But there seems to be, and this is something that you could maybe highlight a little bit more, there seems to be some kind of rivalry or like really big kind of hate relationship between him and Carol, who is the founder of Big Cat Rescue. Do you know any more insights? Like, what happened there, and tell us.
So for me, the biggest thing that I know is he really hates her because she wants to change the law. That's really the way to change everything about this situation for these cats, is to make it so they can't be pets anymore, which would close somebody like him or a lot of these people who mostly make their money breeding cubs, which nobody really wants to talk about, and selling them on the black market and, using them in other ways, which this act would stop. And because of that, he's gone after her because that's his moneymaker. And let's face it, that's rough for people. You're messing with people who, I do have compassion for him in the sense that he doesn't know any better. And this is obviously the way he is, and I tried to have compassion for everyone. But regardless, the best part of this is the fact that he is finally in jail. She is the only one who was powerful enough to go after him. Yeah. Which made her, his target. And now he's in prison for doing some really horrible things to her as well. You know? So,
because he's also, there's also 2 counts of murder for hire, which is trying to murder Carol, right? Like he was out for her life. Is she still in danger?
Honestly, most likely yes, because there's other people involved in these similar businesses. It's hard to be an animal rights activist, especially one who actually is getting something done. Yeah, that
publicly
makes you a target.
Also, so publicly as she does it. Yeah,
and publicly, and part of what makes Big Cat so successful is the fact that she does have a certain personality. And that's important when you have a message. You have to sort of have a platform and a way to talk to the public. So it's a tricky situation once you start to put yourself out there. You really are putting your neck on the line. Absolutely. But she's doing it for the right reason. So that's what my big thing is like, regardless of these people, what's important are these cats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so crazy that, to me, it took this long and this many counts of public abuse for him to go behind bars. And then for someone like our president to possibly talk about getting him publicly excused is unbelievable. Yeah.
But I mean, the president also was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So I mean, let's not go there with this bloody fucking president who is just, like, I don't even want to give him the time in this podcast. Like, seriously not. Let's not going to go there. I hate that guy. Other subject. But
I'm more scared that something would happen where this man will be let off.
Of course.
Public.
And I'm sure, so because for those people who haven't seen the documentary, I mean, like, people go see it. It's on Netflix. It's called, Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. And so if you haven't seen it, so you follow him on his many crazy adventures and stuff. But you told me when I asked you for this podcast, you're like, yeah, Carol, please give me the opportunity because I want to put some things straight. Like, some things are really not right in this documentary when it comes to how how Big Cat Rescue is being portrayed. So what would you like to set straight here? This is your space. Do it.
Mostly that Big Cat Rescue is an actual sanctuary. Doc and Joe Exotic and some of the other places represented there are not official sanctuaries. No. They are something different from Big Cat, and they should not be put in the same category. No. I think it is wrong, regardless of how you feel about Carol, to make that a judgment against Big Cat Rescue. And regardless of how you feel about anyone, I think it's important to give your money to a place that is doing something right and trying to change the laws, which is the most important thing. And I think if anyone is moved by trying to really save big cats, it's sad that conservation is only like one part of the way, but a bigger issue is what's going on now with cats being in homes, with these roadside zoos, with people abusing these animals and treating them unkindly, and in our own country in this common time.
And do you feel like when you were watching the Netflix, I can't even imagine what it was like for you to see this. Oh my God.
I had to see it just to see
what people were talking about. I feel you, sister. I feel you. But do you feel that when you were watching it, do you feel, because obviously what he had was a zoo and also using these animals for entertainment purposes, which is completely wrong, of course, like, and probably not treating these animals very well either, because otherwise you're not in jail for 17 accounts of animal cruelty.
When he gets like pulled by the leg by that tiger and he goes to shoot the tiger, it's a different thing. Yeah. Like for me, that was a big sign in that film.
But do you feel like the way Big Cat Rescue was kind of portrayed was still a little bit too much like a zoo?
Yes. I think that we didn't show the size of the place. They tried to make it like it was so small, but the honest truth is a lot of the cats are not even on public display. Like if a cat
for a good reason.
Nervous, if the cat is nervous, we do not remotely show them. And when we're saying public display, you are way far away from these tigers. It's not like they're in your face or we're walking them on a leash or that we're forcing them to do anything at all on these tours. Which I think is important to know. The cats are living the best quality of life that I think is even remotely possible for them at this point. It's sad, they're in a cage, they're in a jail forever. But at this point, they have been removed from their environment and from their norm for so long that they would die if we just re-release them. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah,
also,
of course, because they're not used to we've taken them out of that environment so much that they couldn't even cope. They'll probably get murdered by another tiger.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how it is. That's just how it is. Yeah. No, that's
they play with their food. It's sad, to see them in the sanctuary is, to me, it's kind of sad in the sense that they relate. They look so much like house cats.
Yeah.
They behave so much like house cats. They're that removed from the wild.
Yeah, from who they are inside. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, also, because especially when you just said, like, about the state of Texas, but in general, like, we are taking these beautiful creatures away. We are killing their soul. We are completely removing them from their true nature. And that is also where things are going really wrong. And I think if you're saying as well, like, Carol is actually trying to change the law, which is also, if you want to change something in animal rights, in my opinion, as an animal rights activist as well, like, you always have to go to the root of the problem. Like, it's not enough to just save one tiger or one big cat. It's what she's trying to do is really change everything, like the whole picture, which is, I really applaud her for that. And I think that for you, it must have been so empowering to be part of that also,
It was, that's what I have to say. Personally, to be around her was very inspiring. And she always talked well with the interns and gave us her time and was very respectful and appreciative. And I feel like that was also even portrayed badly in that movie.
Yeah.
They tried to, like, even make that an issue.
Yeah.
And honestly, most of us had, like, a really good time there. You woke up with animals. It was very hard work, but she was inspiring. You knew she was trying to do something, and you felt like, unlike when you were doing a zoo internship, you were doing the right thing. For me in particular, it was like redemption. I really learned what I felt and thought about this and why it was right or wrong, and got to really learn firsthand what is happening, which, is almost like hard to believe, this whole, like, black market exotic animal trade being, like, the third biggest black market trade there is, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And do you have any idea how she is, like, right now? Like,
I don't think she's well, because, like I said, the sanctuary is not doing very well. She's under investigation. They're opening the case again with her husband.
Yeah.
So I doubt that she is well, and they're very worried about the future of the sanctuary.
Yeah,
like I said, they have enough money and support to support what they have, but who knows for how long to go on, because they're talking now about never opening sort of to the public again, because they just feel between how they were portrayed falsely and this COVID thing that it's just not even worth it to do the tours anymore, which is going to hurt them tremendously.
No one is visiting now, I understand. And when you were working there, or in general, like, how long has this, like, massive fight been going on between them both?
Wow. So I started there in 2013, and this documentary started filming in 2014, but it had been going on for at least 5 or 6 years before that.
Yeah, so it's been an ever ongoing...
When I started there was pictures of Joe Exotic behind the desk. We had to know who he was, because he was that much of a threat.
Yeah.
Like, a whole binder on his history and like, his different aliases and different pictures of him, so we all knew if he came in, because he came in to mess with them many times.
Yeah.
As an intern, that's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah, it's
I
really
was like
scary.
25. I'm like, what is that?
But yeah, no, and it's in general, it's really scary, because he is a threat to not just Carol, but the whole Big Cat Rescue, of course, And so, has he come in your time?
When I was there, I had never been aware of him coming in. We were all definitely on heightened alert.
Yeah.
And luckily, he, from my knowledge, did not appear during that time, but it definitely was something we all kind of thought about. And then, the thought of what do you do? Like, if you're in a gift shop and he walks in.
Yeah.
And somebody like that, you don't really know what state they're going to be in.
No, exactly. And they're dangerous. I mean, he's armed, you've seen him shoot people and animals. So it's like, it's and that's also crazy, actually, in the documentary, that I'm like, wow, like, do you know that you're exposing yourself to the whole world right now? Like, it's unbelievable.
The only other crazy thing for me is that I almost wound up at Docs. You know, the other guy in the documentary? I almost wound up working there.
Yeah, wow, okay.